A 15-year-old boy named Sebastian Rogers was in his bedroom after a fun day out with his mum and relatives. Mum was on the phone to her husband, Chris Proudfoot, for apparently A 15-year-old boy named Sebastian Rogers was in his bedroom after a fun day out with his mum and relatives. Mum was on the phone to her husband, Chris Proudfoot, for apparently 3 hours, and at some point Katie heard a noise in Sebastian's room telling him to go to bed. At 12 p.m, Katie puts the dogs to bed and goes to bed herself, and in the morning Katie wakes up, walks into Sebastian's room, noticing that he was not there. She called her husband Chris Proudfoot and then called the sheriff's office. This is where the story starts, and from there, where do we go? Who do we look at? And why did he leave? What do you think happened to Sebastian Rogers? Hey, hi guys. Hope you're all well. So we're going to be talking about Sebastian today. Can you hear me all right? Is the sound okay, first of all, because I've turned the microphone down. Hope you can hear me okay. So we've got a lot to get through, and a lot has gone on in the last few days, literally. We were at a bit of a standstill with this case, with Sebastian Rogers. He went missing on the 26th of Feb. And over the weekend, a photo surfaced, because nothing's really happened for like literally the last couple of weeks. Literally nothing's happened. They've done some searches, but it's like they don't have anything. They don't have anything to go on. And so this picture, it just gave everybody a glimmer of hope, something to cling to. And so this photo, I'll get it up on the screen. So this photo came out over the weekend, and everybody was like, oh my God, that is Sebastian, that's Sebastian. And I was one of those people. I don't know what you thought. I've read some of your comments in the comment section, but a lot of people were like, that's AI generated. I don't like to be quite so definitive with answers such as that, because it's not obviously Sebastian, is it? You know, we don't know. Even his parents, for some reason, aren't able to tell, which I find quite strange. I mean, I know he is looking down slightly, but like I said on a video I made the other day, I would literally need to see the back of my daughter and I'd know it was her. Like, if I saw a picture of my daughter like that, I would know it was her. So to me, it's kind of weird. But anyway, I digress. So this photo surfaced over the weekend, and everybody was like, well, where is it? So apparently this woman, I don't know if she was on a day out or something, and she caught this image of what she thought was Sebastian. Okay, now you got to admit, it does look very much like him. And like I said, I was one of those that I was like, yeah, it's definitely him. I still think it's definitely him. Anyway, apart from the PI, Seth getting PIs and that crazy interview on Web Sleuths, not saying anything wrong about Web Sleuths, they're great, but all the pandering to Chris, I just couldn't manage it. There was nothing. There's been nothing for weeks, and then suddenly we get this photo. So there were people actually making live streams where they were inputting his photo into like an AI generator to see what the AI generator said, whether it came up as a fake image or whether there was an image somewhere else on the internet that it, paired with. And apparently a lot of people were saying it's AI generated, and I've had loads of comments, but apparently, okay. So wait a second. What I don't understand is his mother Katie. She obviously saw it because I think most of the parents are in these groups. And she saw it and she wasn't sure. She was like, you know, it's being looked into. I've got the message here somewhere. Here we go. She said, oh no, this is Christopher Proudfoot, so stepdad. He said, it's not Sebastian. Well, again, how do you know it's not Sebastian? Like, you spent a lot of time with him. Like, wouldn't you know? Like, how much attention did you pay to this child? Anyway, this was apparently where it was. It was at this center. I think it's called the Wilson Center. And it's like a recreation place. It's been like nature reserve and all that kind of stuff. And it's about $25 to get in, so they say. Sorry if I'm not looking at the comments at the minute, but I'll try and get to them, because when I've got all the photos up on the screen, I can't see the comments. I'm just going through the photos at the minute, so don't think I'm ignoring you, but I will get back to the comments in a sec. So, yeah, so Katie was saying, we don't know. It's got to be confirmed. You know, we're getting it looked into. Chris was saying it is not in capital letters. People questioning him and saying, well, how do you know it's not? Like, if you know, then how? So anyway, this place, this is where this photo was taken. So I was looking at the entrance and I was like, well, wait a minute, there aren't any rocks there, but it's actually it's actually at the end of here. So there, it's like the end of where you come out is just opposite. So somebody took this photo and they took, I mean, they're circling a camper there. I don't think there's enough of an image there to I mean, it's obviously some kind of van or camper, but you can't really tell. Plus, you don't know when it was taken on, what, Saturday, they say. Now, that's the other thing, guys. If you were that woman, would you have gone over and said something? I'm going to go back to the comments for a second so I can see what you're saying. Would you have gone over? Would you have said something? Hi, started a conversation? Or I think what I would have done is I'd have shouted, Sebastian, and looked to see if he was looking. I mean, I know you don't want to draw attention to the situation in case they like run off, but I think I'd be wanting to see if he turned around or tried to make conversation with whoever was with him. I mean, it's great that this woman sent this information in, because this looks like the only lead they've got right now, unless they are suspecting the family. So it's good that she did. And yeah, we would have called Ellie, you know, but I think I would have like made some conversation about something, even if it wasn't about Sebastian, and just like made some kind of conversation. But I speak to anybody, so. Okay. So Chris and Katie, complete polar opposites when it comes to their take on this photo. It's not the best photo, this, is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, so that was like the main entrance, but what is also circled here are cameras. So that will be very useful, because it looks like, from what I've been told, Seth is now in North Carolina. And when I heard he was in North Carolina, two things popped to mind. First of all, I thought, brilliant. Yes, that's exactly what I would do. But then I thought, well, wait a minute. I'd turn up at this place and he's obviously not going to be there now. And then I'd sit in the car park and think, well, where do I drive? It's all mountains. So it's not like you're looking for a car so you can pass driveways and things. Because if he's anywhere with somebody, he's going to be in a house generally, isn't he? So where's he going to look? I suppose he's just going to be driving around aimlessly. And I mean, I agree, he should be there. I would be there also. But I mean, you've got to think, well, what's he going to do when he gets there? Anyway, so it looks like Ellie are taking this seriously. They've been down there, as far as I'm aware. Seth's down there. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know this for sure, so this isn't a definite, but I would assume with a high percentage that they've got these the camera footage from these cameras from Saturday or whichever day it was, which I think it was a Saturday. And they will have also had the staff in, I guess, and they'll have been asking all the staff. Well, the staff will have probably been interviewed, anybody that was on that day, by police, because they'll be wanting to ask, did you notice a boy looking odd? Did he look upset? Did anything stand out to you on that day? Just normal general questions. I wouldn't be surprised if they asked people to come forward from that day. Or, I mean, how big is this place? Like North Carolina, I'm sure it's quite a biggish place, but this area, is it a big area? I mean, I was looking and it just seems to be all wooded area, like all mountains, and without very many houses, which made me think, and these are Google images, there's a huge coach here. Is he passing? Well, there's a few, look, 1, 2, 3, possibly another one behind this one. What are the people doing in this coach? Are they coming for a paid day trip to this place? Or are they just passing through and this is like a bus stop area where you can get off and maybe the bus company pay for people to just use the facilities, to go in, go to the bathroom, etc., and just, somewhere to stop on the way. I'm not quite sure about that, but there are a lot of buses. So it just makes you think, was he living in that area and they've gone for a day out? Or has he gone on some kind of bus journey? My computer's a bit slow today, guys. Voices, you were gonna... Oh, Penny, you are cute. My baby girl in the chat. She's not a baby girl anymore. Okay, so they thought it was AI generated. Seth is now saying that apparently this image is not AI generated. So he speaks to T-Rev. Kitty cats, please don't fight when I'm on live. So Seth speaks to T-Rev quite a lot. I don't know whether they would class themselves as friends or what. I don't know what the situation is, but apparently they speak quite often. And stop it. And apparently it's not AI generated. They don't know if it's him. They haven't confirmed if it's him. And I keep looking online to see if there's anything. But literally in the media at the minute, the last thing really that was going on was Seth gets a PI. Like, I was looking to see if there was anything new happening, and there wasn't. So, okay, so we just talked about that. But who was the woman in the photo that was with him? Now, at first I thought, is this woman just walking past him, or is he with her? I'm going to bring her up, and I'm sure you've already seen her on a million different panels already, but hear me out. Okay, so it's a bit slow as my computer. My internet access is not brilliant here. It's a really old house. It's like early 1900s. Anyway, so this woman, and at first there were rumors started on Facebook that it could be Seth's sister. Well, Seth, God, I'm a bit of tongue-tied tonight. Seth's sister, she came on under one of my videos on Facebook and put, "This does not look like me at all." So I thought, oh, okay. So I did make a post about that saying, it's not her. So we don't think it's a sister. And then everybody was saying, is it a woman from the vigil? Because apparently there's this young blonde-haired woman at the vigil quite often. And, apparently it's not her either. So who else could it be? Okay, yesterday this came up. I'm not going to leave it on the screen for too long, but this is Katie's mother. Okay, and I think she looks a lot more like this woman here than Seth's sister. I haven't done a side-by-side. Should have done a side-by-side, but there you go. I haven't done side-by-side. So you're just going to have to make do with it, guys, you know? Okay. So that's what was going on there. But I still don't understand why nobody didn't shout his name or go and speak to them. Anyway, so a lot of you probably wouldn't have gone over and wouldn't have drawn attention, but you would have got in touch with Ellie, right? Okay, so apparently this lady, she rang into Dolly Vision's channel. Was it last night, or it was like early hours of this morning for me? And she said that she'd gone to this place because she was handing out flyers. So because of this sighting, this possible sighting, she'd gone up to this Wilson Centre, and she'd gone and had a word with somebody in there. First of all, she'd taken like some photos outside. I think they were watching her to see what she was doing, and she asked some staff, and they were like, how can we help you, you know? And she was saying, do you know about the young boy that's missing? Well, as soon as they said that, she said that, as soon as just give me a second, Penny. As soon as she said that, Penny, don't put me off. You're putting me off. Penny wants a shout out, guys. She says, will you give me a shout out? Hi, Penny. This is my daughter in the chat, guys. I am going to put the call-in number up. I have sent my link to a couple of creators because they said they might come on panel and chat with me. But if they don't, I've got the call-in number. I've got two numbers. I've got one for if you're in the US. It's a US number to ring, and you can get me, and a UK number as well for anybody in the UK. Okay, so we'll put that up in a minute. So yeah, so this woman rang into Dolly Vision, and she apparently, as soon as she mentioned Sebastian behind the desk, they like radioed for kind of like backup, like for security or whatever. And they took this woman to one side. I don't know if it was an officer took her in or something. And they were asking her loads of questions. She got like really interrogated, I think she said, about it all. And she was like, I'm only there to take leaflets and, you know, take a picture outside and kind of that kind of thing. But it sounds to me that if that's the case, they've obviously taken this tip really seriously. I'd like to think they would have done anyway, but it sounds like they've taken this tip really seriously, and they've probably been up there. Hopefully they've got the camera footage from Saturday. Hopefully they might have been able to see these people leaving to a vehicle. Maybe they got a registration plate. For all we know, guys, and I'm praying so hard, they could have him right now. Like, we don't know that. It's not a fact. It's just speculation. But they could have him right now, because if they've watched these people move out of the parking lot, you know, who knows? I would really like to think that that is a possibility. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to ask you was, I want to know what you think about this. Do you think they're monitoring calls with people, police monitoring calls for people that are, in this case, shall we say, not mentioning any particular names? We're going to get back to Katie's mother in a minute. What do you think? Do you think so or not? Because they did say, didn't they, when they were in the media, they said, oh no, we haven't really got anybody in mind, like it's not a criminal investigation kind of thing. And I just thought, well, he didn't just disappear on his own. How far can a 15-year-old boy get on his own with barely anything to eat, with no shoes on, no coat, in the middle of the night? Like, come on, guys. Anyway, so yeah, so they interviewed this woman. Obviously, she didn't have anything to tell them. She was only there to drop off some leaflets and things. But yeah, so it sounds like they were taking it seriously. I really do hope that these people drove past the cameras at the front when they left that parking lot, because that would be amazing. Bye, Penny. Have a nice night. I'll get that thing for you later. I'll order it for you, okay? Yeah, so Seth has gone down there. He's now in NC. So it must be legit. I mean, I still can't get over how nobody can just look at that photo and not know. Like, I'm asking you now in the comment section, everybody listening, all 644 of you, right? If that was your child, think of your child stood there with the head slightly down. Would you know if somebody took a photo of them? Because I would know if that was Penny or not. Just from them having the head slightly down, like, I'd still know. I think if she turned around, I'd probably still know. That's why it's just a bit weird to me. I'm like, it's just a bit weird. Anyway, so I've got another photo for you. Now, I was sat today and I was trying to work out what I thought could have happened. And I've listened to a couple of streams as well as gathering some evidence last night of my own. And I have a theory. So I'm going to play you that in a second. And I want to see if it's something you've thought about as well. So just to show you as well, this is the shoes that he had on when he was at home with his parents or was out one day. So they're like lace up black lace trainers, grey in colour, white sole. And then I think the other ones, let me see, where's the other picture? Is that it? I think I need my glasses on. Where are they? Oh, there. So they're similar, aren't they? Now, they're not the same. They're not lace up. They're like elasticated up the front, but they're still grey and they've still got a white sole. They've still got a little white, whatever it is up the side, Skechers or whatever. And I just kind of think, and I think I got this from somebody that rang into one of the channels. She said that autistic children tend to go for things that they're used to. So say they went out for some trainers, they'd pick something that they probably like already had, like within a shade. Like, so if it was possible that somebody had taken him and said, look, you know, come on, just come with me, get in the car, and then went and got him some shoes, maybe he would have picked something similar. So they might not have to be exactly the same to be him, you know. If somebody's bought him some shoes, that's what was being said. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so I've got this for you. Oh, I'll just mention as well, I don't know if you watch Terry Lynn, but Terry Lynn, she's been searching. She does like a live and she's searching every day. And she found this. Now, I don't know what that bit of paper is. It almost looks like a face in the middle of like a white card. I don't know if it's like a bus pass or, you know, something there, but I don't know what that is. But she did find some tracksuit bottoms and they were black with like the white line down the side, you know, like the Adidas tracksuit bottoms. Not the best photo there, but I think somebody clipped this from a video, so they won't be the best. And so she rang the police. Anyway, it took them ages to arrive. And I don't know if it was Robin Rogers or someone had to literally call the police and say, look, this woman is stood out there in the dark on her own. Like, I think she had protection with her, but she was just stood out there in the middle of nowhere. It was raining on her own in the dark for hours, waiting for the police to turn up. Now, I know a pair of trousers probably isn't the most important thing to them if some major things going on, but still, you know. Anyway, and then they didn't want to get the feet wet when they walked over the little river, you know, to anyway. So let me take that off the screen. Right, so this is, I don't know if many of you do this, some of you may, but I like to look people up, you know, when there's a case and there's no details on here that nobody doesn't already know. There's no address, but this is Katie, Sebastian's mother. This is where they live. She's 34 years of age, and when he went missing, I opened up hers, Chris's and Seth's And it's just something I do with every case. I just have a good look through and just see if there's anything like relevant to the case kind of thing. And so they're stored in my previous section on Truthfinder. Anyway, so the other day I thought, right, I really want to have a look at her mother. Like, I want to have a look at details because I've heard she's an SO. Like, I want to know more about this woman. So I clicked on the photos to have a little look at Katie a little bit more. Oh, there's Mandy on backstage. I didn't see Mandy. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? I
I'm
hope you weren't
good.
waiting. I was just bringing this up. So I'm just going to start talking about what's been going on with this photo. So people have been saying, oh, is it the sister of Seth? And then they ruled that out. The sister came forward and said no. And so I was just saying, when Sebastian first went missing and it was televised, I looked up Katie, Chris, and Seth's details on Truthfinder. And so they're all stored there in my previous section. So yesterday I went on because I wanted to have a little look at her mother and the family and where they lived. Did they live in North Carolina, like people were saying? And this comes up. I'm sorry, this report is no longer available. The report linked, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on, linked to the profile you are searching has been removed from our site. What do you think to that? So she's obviously...
Right. I think she's
wrong. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Go on, what do you think? There's a bit of a lag.
Yeah, it feels like it. I'm sorry. I'll try to leave spaces in between when I speak. I think that I think that all three have gotten a lot from social media. I think that they've probably seen a lot of support, but they've also had a lot of trolling. And so I think that, she just wanted to get her information off of there. And I don't blame her. I can't say that, I'm surprised.
No. Well, I mean, if it was me or you, would you do it? I probably would.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do. I mean, he's been missing for a while now. I think my first thought would I'd be outside and I wouldn't want to be coming home until I'd found her. But I suppose when you've got time to sit down and think about things rationally. But Chris hasn't and Seth hasn't. It's just Katie. So that was one thing. Yeah, I just thought, why, she lives with Chris. Why haven't they done it together at the same time and like removed their information at the same time?
Right. Or why wouldn't she have done it for Chris? I mean, he does everything for her, so why wouldn't she do that for him,
Maybe she was a bit annoyed after she heard him trying to chat Terry Lynn up on that on that stream the other night. I was like, did he know that it was being recorded on that call? Somebody asked me that and I was like, I don't know. I think so.
I don't know either because I don't remember her saying. And when I heard Jay play it, she had said that they were on the phone for a while before she started recording. So she didn't even record the entire call. And that was like 3 hours that she did have recorded. I was like, holy moly.
3 hours? Really? On the call for 3 hours? What did they talk
about? Over 3 hours. Well, 3 hours of it was recorded. But they were on the phone. I want to say Jay said that they were on the phone for like almost an hour before she started recording, or a little bit. I mean, it was a little bit of time that they were on the phone before she hit the record button, and we were able to hear the last 3 hours of the conversation. So then it was like, okay, well, I believe 100%. I believe that Chris and Katie were on the phone for 3 hours the night that Sebastian vanished. Okay. My husband works out of town also, and he comes home every Saturday and goes back to work every Sunday, though. He doesn't stay gone for weeks at a time. So, but when he's gone, we talk on the phone and I'll put it on speaker or we'll do video chat. And that way he still feels like he's at home with the family and not so, like living double lives or whatever, So I believe that they talked for 3 hours on the phone, and then listening to him talk to Terry Lynn so freely. I could see him being a talker with Katie too.
Yeah. It was like he enjoyed her speaking back to him like that.
Oh yeah.
Because he
Oh,
kind
I
of got all
absolutely.
mushy when yeah. It was like
Yeah.
he enjoyed that.
I
So I'm going to
agree.
put the calling number on screen in a second, but there's just something I want to show you first. So when everybody decided that it wasn't the sister, Seth's sister, then
Right.
somebody was saying that it was Katie's family, because apparently they live in North Carolina. Well, I looked and all I could find was Virginia, but if people are saying it's North Carolina, then possibly. So we've got great grandma at the top, grandma in the middle, and Katie at the bottom, just so anybody, and the names. Okay. What do you think to this theory? I literally sat here earlier on and I just recorded myself thinking, okay. So I'm going to play it. I sent it to right. Okay. Obviously it's not fact. This is me thinking out loud. Oh, it would help if you
He might have been saying, I don't like it at home. Mum and dad had been arguing because mum and stepdad had been arguing a lot, and apparently the relationship was going downhill because of Sebastian. Apparently Chris didn't want him there anymore, so Seth was going to take custody. So you can imagine it was probably heated at the house. They were making him wear pull-ups. Everything was going down at the house. He didn't like it. Anyway, he was going to live with Steph, but he didn't want to do homeschooling. There was just a lot of turmoil for him. And you don't know if he's been speaking, because he did speak to Faith, his stepsister, online. So it might be that he was talking to his grandma, his great grandma, one of his relatives. They all live in North Carolina. I wonder if he's spoken to them. That was the video, maybe that black video that you can just make out some figures on the driveway coming and getting him that night. And they didn't think that this was going to blow up like it has. And then now they've thought, shit, what are we going to do? Because I went on Katie's profile. I've pulled it up many, many times on Truth Finder. You can see all of her details. She's quickly taken all of that down now. You cannot see any of her personal details or her family members now. They've taken the page down on all the sites for privacy reasons. Chris hasn't. Seth hasn't. And who haven't we heard from? Katie. We have heard from her, but I mean, like, who's the quietest? That's my theory anyway. I think they organised it with, I think Katie was involved. She thought, look, my marriage is breaking up. I can't have him here, but I don't want him to go to Seth's. Seth's violent. We've seen that SA report
Allegedly
that she put in, that restraining order. She probably didn't want him to go there, but she had no choice because her marriage was on the rocks and Chris said he didn't want Sebastian there. So what do you reckon? Katie organised it with her family over in North Carolina and it blew up and now she's thinking, shit, why else?
So that was just a theory that I was just thinking about earlier on. And thank you, Little Dove. Little Dove's gifted some memberships to people. Thank you. That's really kind of you. So that was just my theory earlier on. I was just thinking to myself, look, there's a woman there. They thought it was a sister. Apparently it's not Seth's sister. Was something organised? Because Chris and Katie apparently weren't getting on, according to Seth. Chris was saying that the marriage was on the rocks and they were talking about getting a divorce. So in order to save the marriage, Sebastian was going to live with his dad. Having said that, deep down, did Katie want him to go and live with his dad? She put an RO restraining order in against him, saying that he was doing this, that, and the other, that Sebastian had PTSD. And we don't know if any of that's true, but I'm just saying what was on this restraining order. So did she actually want Did Katie actually want to give him to Seth? So was this organized so that she didn't have to give him to Seth, but she knew he would be looked after and her marriage was saved? Like, just a theory. It's not fact. What do you think about that theory, Mandy?
Well, my problem is I don't.
Hmm.
Okay, I watch a lot of the custody and support hearings on YouTube. Like, there's tons of channels where you can watch live Zoom hearings in the courtrooms.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of false allegations made by parents to try to use their children as pawns, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
when I heard about the allegation that Katie made about,
Mm-hmm.
Seth did this and that and da 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 da, and Seth denied it and tried to explain what happened in the one situation that he talked about, I kind of see it as that. They haven't shown any reports from a doctor where he hit his head or, like there's nothing that confirms it other than hearsay. And we don't know
Yeah.
the affidavits or, the witnesses that she had. I think that there was another statement that was put in there. I didn't listen to it fully because I don't give it much validity. But I mean, those could have been close friends, so I don't know if she didn't want him to go stay with Seth. I kind of feel like, Cher said, Chris asked Seth to take Sebastian. So why would they have to do anything to Sebastian? That's the weird thing too. And I agree, if Chris reached out, and I find that very odd too, why Chris was the communicator between the two parents. That's a little weird to me.
Yeah.
But he reached out to
Well,
Seth.
I think he's in charge. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with what you were saying about, we don't know if that RO order, restraining order, was literally said just to get him out of the house because she wanted rid of him and she didn't want him there. Like, it could have been all made up. We don't know that, but we can only go on what we've read, So it's like, well, I just think with Chris being so, from what I've seen personally, and I think a lot of people have seen, with him being quite what I would class as controlling, I just kind of think he would make that decision and Katie would kind of have to agree. Or do you think she would? Do you think she would go up against him with a big decision like that? I mean, you would like to think so.
I would like to think so. I do. I agree with you 1,000%. Chris is very controlling. I mean, we've seen him on panels where he tries to take over the conversation. It seems like he talks more than anybody, but mainly Katie. And I'm wondering, the private investigator said that they had somebody who had said that there were issues in the marriage in December, January timeframe, I believe. So I'm wondering if maybe that's when this was decided. When was it decided that he was going to go live with Seth?
I'm not quite sure, but it was supposed to be about a month from when he went missing, because they were saying, weren't they, it was supposed to be going in a month's time. But because I just sat there, as many of us probably have, and thought, well, wait a minute, exactly what you've just said. If they were getting I know this sounds terrible, but I'm just going to say it like this. If they were getting rid of him as of like a month's time, why would they need to do anything? But if you put a problem in the middle of that and say, well, if Katie wasn't lying and what she put in that RO restraining order was true, then is it possible that she did not want her son going to live there permanently or in a permanent basis for the foreseeable? And because you'd have to put something in the middle of it for it to make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I see exactly what you mean. And I mean, and it could be possible, Seth was talking about he was going to change up Sebastian's routine by not going to a public school, doing online school so that he could do the therapy. Maybe, honestly, this is my opinion. I think that Katie and Chris really did not want, or one of the two did not want Sebastian to go live with Seth because he might tell, you think about Chris saying Sebastian told on him and was trying to get him kicked out of the house or taken out of the house or whatever, by getting CPS called in. I'm wondering if maybe if he would have gone to Seth and once he got like more than just a weekend with him, he would have said more about what was going on in the Proudfoot home. And then maybe there could have been a huge ordeal. I think
there's lots of things, that it could be that there's got to be something else, because Seth was happy he was getting him. He's been the one searching. Everybody was, everybody still is, I think, all for Seth. We stand by Seth. And then it's like, well, why would Chris and Katie have a problem? Why would they do anything? Because they were able to hand him over in a month's time. So unless he'd done something to anger, and there was a big anger issue and a big fallout and a big fight that caused something terrible, I can't see what else it could be other than Katie not wanting him there. Not wanting him to go and stay there with him for whatever reasons. Like, you could think of many reasons, whether it be because she feels that when she lived with him, she saw behaviors that she wasn't happy with. She described Sebastian as apparently having previous PTSD brought on by the dad, which we don't know if it's true. Like you say, it could be a load of rubbish. But it's just, I just feel like there's got to be more. And hi, Justin. Justin's in the chat. I think most people watch Justin for, but if you don't, you need to go across and check his channel out. And and we've got Mandy on panel as well from Spirit Seeker. So you need to go across. Can somebody put the link in the chat? That would be really good.
I just dropped all 3 of our links. One of the mods asked if somebody could drop the 3 links. So I just got them all and put them all in the chat.
Oh, you're so good. How can you do all this at once? I'm just so not techie. But yeah, I've just put on here, like, marriage breakdown. Chris wants Seth to take him, possibly arguing a lot, and he would have picked up on that, the belt incident that we heard about, Katie not wanting Seth to take him because of what we read in that restraining order. And I was just questioning, did Katie either organize for one of her relatives to take him back over to North Carolina? So they say that's where they say her family are from. Or did Sebastian speak to his relatives online and he's told them all this stuff and they've just come and got him, or they've organized with him to come and get him? One or the other. I just think it's weird. If this picture is him and he is in North Carolina, it's like, how did he get there?
Right. And okay. So I made a community post earlier and I asked all the things, like everything that you just kind of ran through. And I was wondering, okay, so if anybody knows about it of the 3 parents, then they would be in legal trouble because they filed a missing person report for him. And, that would be a false reporting. And we, saw the West parents be charged with that also. And then if it's family that has him, they would also be in trouble because they know that he's a missing child right now. And they were in a very, very public place where that picture was taken. So I'm questioning the validity
why would you
of
take
that.
him out?
Right.
So
I try to look at all different I'm going to hop down and come back and see if that helps our lag.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
I'll be right back.
All right. See you in a minute. So I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, do you think a woman that we've all seen stood outside that place, that Wilson Center, looks anything like Katie's mom? I know it's difficult because I've not got a side-by-side view here, but I think it does. That's my personal opinion. I've looked at the nose, the chin, kind of jawline, tried to imagine her from the side. I know it's difficult. Then you're going to say, well, why would you want to come and get him? You know, unless it had been either arranged or she'd come to get him because she'd been speaking to him on the phone. I mean, I would have thought she wouldn't be allowed any contact, but I'll read the comments so I can see what you're all saying. I do think it looks like her, especially an older her. I'm going to drop, where is it? No, Mandy's here. Where is it? So this is the calling details for the show. If you ring in from the USA, oh God, what's it gone off for? How many times do you have to press it? Once. Okay, so if you're calling in the USA, you can call on 442-371-4040. If you're in the UK, you can call me direct to this mobile on 07491 608207. And you can tell me what you think about this theory. Tell me what your theories are, what you've been thinking about it. Let me know. So what do you think about that picture of the mother? Do you think it would be her? Do you think Katie would arrange to do anything, or she would come over and take him for any reason? Or do you think it's not her? Or you think it's just some random woman?
I think that they look very similar, like scary similar. I think that the women look more alike than Sebastian and the boy look alike. But I also see an outline around the boy, like on, if you zoom in on the picture, his GA,
United States, +1.
Hello, welcome to Crime Stories Obsessed. You're live.
Yes, hello.
I'll turn you up.
I have been calling in. My phone is hacked and tapped. My son says I'm crazy, but I saw the boy and that woman at Livonia, Georgia, Deals on Highway 17 at the store. I didn't think nothing of it at the time. I mean, I wasn't watching this and following it.
So you say you saw them at a store?
Yes. It was around the holidays, right after the holidays, Valentine's and Easter.
Yeah. And had you already seen Sebastian before that then for you to recognize him?
Well, I noticed his hair was real dark and his eyebrows. Somebody, I had dyed him with something, I reckon. They just didn't look right.
Oh.
When I was leaving with my grandson. My grandson was leaving because I act silly. I'm in my second childhood, I told him. And, I act silly at times. I've always been a serious person all my days. I'm 78.
78. Wow. Then did you call this tip in to the TBI?
No. I don't call no police or nothing. I don't trust them the way people talk. I mean, if I had to, I would. No, but I tried to call Justin, but I got connected with this lady, Mandy, on here, and you.
Oh.
And you gave this number.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Famous. Wait, I hadn't finished.
No, it's okay. We're not cutting you off.
The boy was in a thing, He wasn't walking on his own. He was like in the driving thing, and the woman was behind him. And when I looked at her, she looked kind of like scaredish, and I had walked past the boy, and he had asked me my name. He said, "What's your name?" But I was done past him, but I thought it'd be rude not to speak back to a person, So I backed up, walked backwards, and I looked at him, and we grinned. I said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Seb."
Seb. Right. Okay.
Yeah, he might have said that, Seb, but I thought he said Sam. But anyway, we was passing again, and I hear myself on this. Excuse me.
She needs to pause YouTube.
Oh, and
yeah. Can you just pause YouTube a second? Just pause the YouTube live. I might be able to hear you a bit Oh, you did?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have no phone service or YouTube anymore. This person, they had told me not to say another word. I can't keep my mouth shut, you know.
Right.
God
Okay. So
help
just
us
tell me
all.
again, because this call's recorded. So just tell me
Oh,
again where you saw him.
At Livonia Deals store, off of Livonia, Georgia. I'm sorry.
Georgia. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And what day was that on?
I don't know exactly. I'm saying
Okay.
it's after the 2 holidays.
Right.
You know, somewhere
Right.
there.
Okay.
Because I don't eat no flowers or candy or nothing no more since I moved up here with my son. Anyway, I was hugging either the crackers or something I'd got, just acting like, you know, childish like. And kids are drawn to me, 2-year-olds and up.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere I go, always have all my life. Anyway, he asked, "What's your name?" And I had accidentally passed him, and I thought it'd be rude to pass him, you know, so I backed up. I've never done nobody that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I backed up, and we kind of looked at each other and grinned, you know. And I said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Sam," or Seb, you know, whatever you said.
Yeah.
I didn't pay much attention to the difference there.
Okay.
And she was pushing him, or they was going on, and it passed me again. And I said, "You can call me BB."
Right.
Because I have a rare name, and it's, you know, on the YouTube.
YouTube.
And she grinned. Yes, ma'am. I was on it then. They took me off. Somebody has.
Oh, right.
And I said, you know, it's a rare name, and I'd be aggravated, you know.
So,
and
would you be unhappy if the police came to see you about this tip? Because it's important, you know, if you've seen him, they might want.
I've called it in.
Oh, you have called it in.
Not to them.
Oh.
Not to the law. I did the people on here, and that girl.
Police need to know, though.
Women talk to him at night.
Mandy, do you want to speak to her?
Who is that?
Can she hear me?
I get very nervous.
Oh, no, because I've got
when
my
I am
headphones on,
close
actually.
to. What?
Right. Would you be able to, do you know how to email?
No, they're not allowing me to do nothing. I am very lucky to be talking to you.
Is that your family?
You know.
Right. Would you? Well, right. Well, I'm going to have to pass this information on to somebody, obviously, if he's been seen in Georgia, because I don't think anybody's seen him in Georgia at the minute. So
could they check the store and their cameras or something?
They
she has to call
but
law enforcement, and they could.
They probably could if you rang law enforcement, but you'd have to speak to law enforcement first.
Okay.
And you might not know the date, you know, so to look at the cameras.
I don't know the exact date, but we usually go to the store on Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Then on Saturday, I suppose. Yeah.
But she really needs to
say that
call.
again, Mandy. Yeah,
they can narrow it down.
You could do with really calling the police. I know you don't really want to, but
how rich is her people? I mean, they might have control of the law.
Tell her to call her local law enforcement.
Yeah, you call your local law enforcement
and okay,
and tell them. But it was lovely speaking to you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody answered.
Oh, well, it was very nice speaking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye. Right, I was going to pass it to you for a second there, Mandy, but I've got my headphones on, so I'd have to start unplugging everything. What did you make of that?
Well, I worry because she said that she doesn't have much control over her own choices right now with her family.
Yeah.
So that makes me curious what, you know, I don't want to say it wrong. So I hope you know what I mean. But regardless, nobody has said anything about Georgia. And if somebody does have him and they're traveling, law enforcement definitely needs to know that so they can follow the trail. So she really needs to call, even if she calls her local dispatch and not TBI, her local law enforcement will contact TBI, but they're local, so they can go to the store and they can try to check the cameras before that footage is gone, because they only store it for 7 days or 30 days, or so it's very important
Well,
that
it's
she
probably
calls
gone by now.
immediately.
When was the
Right, it
holidays in
could
the
be.
US? She said
Well,
holidays.
Valentine's Day is February 14th.
Well, that will have been and gone. Well, no, he went missing on the 26th, I think. Didn't he? 26th.
Hi, Leah. Yeah, that my heart started pounding when she said that she hadn't contacted law enforcement yet. I'm like, wait.
That was not the first call. This is the first time I've ever had a call-in number. So for my very first call, that was probably not what I needed. But I'm going to have to rewind afterwards, write everything down that she said, and I'll email it, and they can take a look at it. I will mention what she said, but I want them to have a look and see. Because were they traveling from Georgia for a day out there, or does she have relatives in Georgia? I think Seth has relatives in Georgia.
Right. And they could just be traveling. They could have an RV themselves. There was an RV in the parking lot of the back of that picture, I mean, we have no idea, but if you think you saw him, I hope she's listening to me right now. Ma'am, I did not catch your name, but if you think you saw him, please call law enforcement. Whoever you feel comfortable calling, call them and tell them everything that you can remember.
Yeah.
So important.
And hopefully they'll take it seriously, because she did sound a little bit like she might, a bit confused, a little bit, should we say, a little bit confused.
Did you get her phone number?
Just at times. No. Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, I've got a phone number. Yeah.
So if you want to send it to me, I can contact TBI and just give them, I mean, we can give them her number, and then they can try to reach out to her, just to ensure that we can help in all ways that we can, or you can call. I mean, I'm just some way to get it to them.
Yeah, because she did sound very convinced that had happened. So yeah, it's definitely worth them taking a look. Anyway, they might be onto some kind of lead that includes Georgia for all we know. So it's important. So yeah,
Right.
I'll pass it on to you. Somebody else did try to call in before, on a UK number. If you want to call back, you're welcome to. I was just taking a call at the time when you rang. But yeah,
And
so
he said his name was Sab or Sam.
Seb, I think. Well, that I took it as Seb at first, but does he go by? Does he say that my name's Seb? Like, I've never heard it before.
That's what I'm wondering if any of the family would know of him, walking up to a stranger and asking their name, if that is characteristic of him, or if he has ever referred to himself as Seb, or if he calls himself Sebastian. Those things are very important to know, I guess. I don't know.
See, I'm
baffled right now.
A police officer, so I don't know. I'm fine with medical things, but when you ask me, want to give me, I'm no good at like questioning somebody. I'm not a police officer, so I'm like, yeah. So
well, I was
that was
watching
my
chat,
theory.
and everybody was trying to figure out her town that she said, because with her heavy Southern accent, it's hard to tell. And she said, it sounded like she said Lavinia, or I tried
that's what
Livonia. I tried to write it down.
Yeah. In Georgia, so it must be if Google it, it'll be like, I'll have to Google it, it'll be a place. I mean, some people heard Sam, some people heard Seb. So she said, Leah said no, she said Seb. I suppose we all might have heard it differently, but I thought she said Seb. But I mean, if she said she wasn't on YouTube, and then she did say that she had been on YouTube, so I wasn't really quite sure,
Right, and she said that she was calling on a regular phone.
Lavonia,
and
GA,
it's
United
this lady
States,
again.
+17.
Uh-oh.
106356.
Hello.
Hello.
Let me.
It's me again, baby. It's not my family interfering.
Okay.
It's someone else.
Who's
That's
interfering?
supposed to be, you know, they cut off my everything. They told me not to say another word even.
Who has? The people that have you, or?
No, nobody has me. I'm here with my son. I have myself. We're trapped here. I just don't want nobody to see this place.
Where are you?
It's
Where
a
are you
mess.
trapped? Where are you trapped?
I'm not trapped. Oh,
What's her son's name?
this person,
What's your son's name?
Michael,
Okay.
he's a good guy.
Is he?
His daddy wasn't,
Right.
and
Well,
he gets mad if I
thought
tell
you
him
said you
what
were-
his daddy is.
I thought you said you were trapped.
No, ma'am. I am, like cut off.
You're cut off from the world?
No, from the phone and everything like that.
Oh, so you're taking the
calling.
phone and things off you. Have you got medical conditions?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, I'm 78.
Okay.
Yeah, I have high blood pressure, and I'm more nervous
You're a little
than
nervous
when I was
as well.
young.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, you're quite.
My son thinks I'm crazy.
Does he?
He thinks I'm
Oh,
crazy. Yes, he tells me that anyway. I don't think
that's
he
not
really
nice,
does.
is it? That's not nice.
No, his daddy, he lived up here with his daddy since he was 18. He has forgotten everything living with me for 18 years,
Mhm.
His daddy and him are got brainwashed that I wasn't a good mother.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
He's been up here since he was 18 around these people. I am from DeKalb County. I went to
Ask her to
church,
call law
Lithonia
enforcement
Baptist.
and
I mean, all
then
these
come back and tell you
Lithonia,
what
Livonia names.
Whose phone are you using at the minute?
Mine.
Oh, yours. So you do have a phone, but they take it
Yes,
off you.
ma'am. I always have.
Oh, good. So, do you think you might be able to ring 911 and tell them what you told me?
Oh, I could, yeah, but I don't want to get involved with the police. My son will get mad if anybody comes out here.
But you're not going to get arrested. It's just information.
No, it's just scary being around
Was
the
she
law and
sworn
police.
in?
Say that again, Mandy.
Oh, God.
Was she
I
at the
just
store
wanted
by
to
herself
let
or
y'all
was somebody
know
with her?
that I had seen that boy and that woman that's in that picture.
Okay. And
They say was made in North Carolina.
yes.
When I tried to tell my son about it, when I started watching it on TV, he said I was dreaming and, stuff like that.
Well, if you think that that's who you saw, then it's important.
I did see that boy and that woman.
Yes.
It was them. His hair was black and his eyebrows were black. It looked funny,
What road is
Like
the
the
store
guy
on?
Black. Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what road that
Real
store
dark.
is on?
But he looked at me and smiled and, grinned, and I grinned back, and I said, what's your name? And that's when he said the Sam. He ducked his head, just like it's in that picture. He ducked his head, like he's bashful.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But
And
her mama,
you know where?
his ma'am.
Yes.
Was it Dill's
Kate's
Food City on
mother
Augusta Road?
is 54.
Okay.
And then there's her mother. They got a Suzette name of Susanna. That's two different names. That's two different people. And one of them is a S.O.
Right.
Guilty of.
Yeah.
So there's two of them women,
Okay.
people don't know about. I didn't know they was. I know that one favored his mother, but she had blonde hair.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my first thought, later on when I started seeing more of it on the TV, my son's going to get me getting involved in anything.
Oh, no. You're allowed
He don't
to.
want the attention.
Baby, just tell them
Thank
you're
you.
talking to your friend. Tell him you're talking.
Okay.
Is the
So, do you
store
remember?
Dill's?
Do you remember the store? Was it Dill's?
Oh, wait a minute. What?
You know the store that you said you saw Seb at? Do you remember what the name of it?
Dill.
Dill's.
No.
No?
Dill. D-I-L-L. Dill.
Oh, that's what I said. Sorry, it's
So-
the English accent.
Oh,
On
sorry.
Augusta?
I got my teeth missing, and
What was that, Mandy?
and this person
Is it Dill's on
No,
Augusta
well,
Road?
he turns the phone on.
Okay.
I don't even have minutes on it, and he turns it on when he wants to.
Oh. Do you remember
And
that? Sorry.
Ma'am,
Yes, sorry, go on.
remember what?
Oh, I was going to say that store that I can't pronounce, was it on Augusta Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, in Georgia. Yeah. Okay, and it was on a Saturday and it was during a holiday.
Well, it's after those 2 holidays.
After the holidays. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
After the 2 holidays. Right. Okay.
Around it,
That's good information.
Did she see what vehicle they got in?
Do you know what vehicle they were in, or did you just see them in the shop?
No, I just saw them in the store, and we was leaving. My grandson was leaving me standing there hugging the crackers.
Hugging the crackers.
I embarrassed them, you know.
Silly sausage. You silly sausage. So
Maybe her
okay, can you
grandson
think?
could call.
Yeah. What? Can I speak to your grandson? Is he there?
No, he's with his mother working. He comes over here 4 days with his dad.
Oh, okay.
My son is going to
Maybe
get me
he could call law
I don't know
enforcement.
why I'm so scared of him. He never done nothing to me. I
Yeah.
love my son. He loves me.
Oh, that's nice.
He's a good boy.
Do you think he'd help you, and do you think he'd ring 911 for you?
No,
No.
I could ring 911. I can drive up there.
Can you
In
tell?
fact, I was just up there.
Sorry, there's a
Right.
bit of a delay when I talk, and sorry if I talk
Oh.
over you. I don't mean to.
Well, I don't mean to talk over you either.
It's okay. It's really nice talking
Oh.
to you. Do you remember those 2 ladies? You said there were 2 ladies with him, or one?
No, one.
One.
And it was either his grandmother or his great-grandmother. There's two of them women, I have realized, and that found out, you know.
Okay. Do you remember what he was wearing? Oh, sorry, I keep talking over you.
No, I don't know.
You don't know what he was wearing at the time? What colour?
No, I thought about that later. Did he have on a Flaherty shirt? Or it wasn't black, I don't think. It seemed like it was Flaherty. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention, you know. It's just his hair stood out and his eyebrows dyed black.
Yeah, maybe he dyed his hair. Maybe.
But they did, boy, yeah.
Interesting.
You know, he's going through a change. He's 15, they said.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess they go through a change, like, you know, they get urges and stuff, and nobody will explain it to them, and they don't understand what's going on, maybe, or something. And that Chris didn't want him around his daughter.
Mm. Did you notice anything strange, like he was wearing a brace across his chest, or braces on his teeth, or anything else that you could remember? No.
Well, after we said hi and all of that, he ducked his head, you know, like a bashful kid or child. I don't know if it would help or not, but
well, it's very helpful because all tips are helpful.
I saw them, you know.
Yeah.
Whoever they were.
Well, we really appreciate you calling and telling us.
I just, you know, somebody check into it more, you know, something. I just get nervous when I get close to these.
Well, you're all right. Are you at home now? Are you safe?
I know, yes.
Oh, good. So you're at home and you're safe. I'm happy about that.
Yes.
At least I know you're safe and home. But thank you so much for that information. I'm going to go because I'm going to talk to Mandy now about what we've just discussed with you and see what she thinks about sending it in as a tip.
All right, I appreciate you listening to me.
I appreciate you calling. Thank you so much.
I've been putting it off.
No. Well, you've done the right thing.
Was it just the woman and the child together?
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not scared of him.
Just
He's more scared of me. Most people are when they see me.
oh,
My ex will back off if he was alive. He did when he was alive.
did was it just two people then you saw? So Seb and
Yes,
this
ma'am.
one woman, right?
Just
Okay.
that boy
Was he
and
wearing
the lady
glasses?
behind him. Yeah.
And did he have glasses on at the time?
He did.
He did. Yeah.
I don't think
Did
she
she?
did. No.
She didn't. No. She said not
No.
before.
But he did.
He did. Right. Okay. That's so much really interesting and useful information. So thank you, BB.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All righty.
Bye. Bye. I'm sorry I couldn't get you involved in the call unless I start unplugging everything. What did you think about that, Mandy?
I wish that she would just contact law enforcement. I mean, everybody in chat is
Yeah.
worried that maybe there's a little bit of Alzheimer's or dementia or something going
Yes,
on, which
I
could be
do.
possible. Yeah.
And
And
she's
I'm glad
possibly
that
seen it on Facebook and
right.
picked up on the story, looked at the pictures. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say too much if you know.
Right. But it still should be, it's not going to hurt for law enforcement to go over to the store and ask if they have security cameras and if they can go back a couple Saturdays and just review them. I would rather be safe than sorry. So she didn't see a vehicle, Kimbo. I've been trying to watch chat and people are concerned about law enforcement finding out about all of this. We are going to make sure that law enforcement gets this call. I promise. Emma and I will not let this go.
No. So I don't think it's a good idea if everybody, starts calling it in as a tip. Just let us. We will do it. We just obviously they don't want to. If they get loads of calls, then they might not take it as seriously. I don't know.
Right. And you have her
But we
phone number,
will.
so they can call her if they need to. We'll give them that also. And somebody in
Yeah.
chat came up with the address, and that's why I was asking you. It was held for review, and I don't know if it was approved or not, but I screenshot it, so I do have the address. So whoever did that, I thank you. I'll have to go back and look, but thank you for that. So we do have the address to the store.
Good. So when we've finished on the call, we will get that information together and send it in. So
Yes.
I mean, I do agree with the chat.
Nashville, TN, United
Nashville.
States, +1615.
Hello, Crime Stories Obsessed.
Yeah, is this the call-in show?
It is. Hi, you're live.
Hey, awesome. Hey, I heard somebody saying that they saw Katie's mom or something with a kid. Is that really true?
It's difficult. That's what she said. I don't want to say too much on here without upsetting anybody that's listening, namely the person that just called in. But we were just questioning if there was anything, any confusion. But we are going to take it seriously and make sure the address, the details, everything she said is passed over to law enforcement. We're going to do that together when we finish on the call, so that they will actually give them the call. They can listen to it themselves. What did you make of it?
I want to add this to that call then.
Yep.
Because you're talking to Chris, the stepfather of Sebastian Rogers now.
Oh, hi.
I thought
So here's the funny thing. The thing that lady was after spewing.
Yeah.
Absolutely crap.
Okay.
That's the funny thing.
Right.
Absolutely crap.
Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, no worries. I
didn't want to upset her.
Get all these answers and they want to get stuff straight. Well, let's get stuff straight. Let's put this out here for everybody to understand.
Yeah.
See, when you have people like that called into your show and they say they have all this information, and when you ask the question, why didn't you call law enforcement? Her answer was, because my son didn't want me to.
Yeah, there's an issue.
That right there's a red flag. That is absolute BS.
But you've got to be careful what you say on here. I don't want to upset the woman. You know what I mean? She's given me the information.
I'm not upsetting her. I am stating the facts.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the reason why, I'm one of the parents. And let's talk about upsetting people, because you've got people that go on these shows and they say these kinds of things, and they don't use common sense. Because if she had the information So you mean to tell me that you just went on a show with 44,000 subscribers that you have, and she openly admitted that she wouldn't call the cops but had information? What kind of person with a compassionate heart says something like that?
Probably somebody
Doesn't make any sense.
It's probably somebody with a bit of Alzheimer's, or somebody that's seen something on Facebook and has, you know.
Yeah, see, but once again, that's where it goes right back to speculations and assumptions, and then they put out false and misleading information. And unfortunately, it truly bogs down the investigation from law enforcement on every aspect.
It does.
So, I mean, and I'm sure Seth would agree with me, and so does Katie on this deal, but we really don't want the rest of the BS out there. We just want true hardcore leads that could actually lead somewhere, not
I understand
somebody who thinks they saw something and whatnot. We would just really call in and get those leads in if they feel that.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. The only problem is I'm a paramedic, so I understand you're going to get people that may have problems, they may have dementia, and they don't they don't realize. And if they were 30 years younger, they probably wouldn't call in because they know that it was just something that was in their mind that they'd seen earlier on say Facebook or somewhere. We can't medically diagnose somebody over here, but just by speaking.
No, I mean, you don't have to diagnose anybody over the air, but common sense, I don't care who you are, would say that if you have the information and you think it's a credible thing, you should call law enforcement regardless. I mean, how would somebody feel if their child went missing and they were in our shoes and they had all these people calling in and saying that they have spotted this child, they've seen this and they've seen that, but refused to call it in?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, false tips are better than no tips, but true common sense on things like, when people say, well, I just didn't want to call it in, that is a red flag right there. Even with law enforcement saying this.
Yeah.
When people say,
she said her family didn't want her to get involved.
From 9 to 1.
Yeah, she said her family didn't want her to get involved, and there is probably a reason for that, like you said, but we don't know.
78.
She's 78,
Well, anonymous reporting is perfectly okay.
Yeah, she wasn't.
You don't have to give information. It has to come of it, but
we will pass
once
it
again,
across,
this just goes right back to where we keep asking everybody, if there's something, just reach out to law enforcement. Just all you gotta do is pick up the phone and call them. You don't wait.
But the thing is, it's not up to us as the public to sift through tips and work out what we feel is right and genuine and what's not. It's a case of this comes in, this is the information, you decide. It isn't up to us to I know what you're saying. It does bog them down with all this crap. But
I'm also saying that you've got folks that come in on your show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm being very respectful when I say this, but they're coming in on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say this to any creator out there.
Mm-hmm.
When you have somebody that comes on your show and wants to make statements like that, and nobody stops them and asks them the questions that make common sense, like, okay, you don't want to get it reported, you don't want to be involved, that's fine. There's also anonymous reporting that you can put out there, and that might help change the narrative as far as whether or not they want to report things. It's just looking out for all parties' interests. Yeah. Sebastian being number one, the missing child.
Yeah.
Our son,
I understand that. But unfortunately, some people are going to have problems, It's difficult. It's difficult. We did get as much information. I don't think she was going to tell us anything about her. I did ask. But she gave us the information of the store. If they can listen to the call, can't they, for themselves? I'll give them the link. They can listen. If they find it a load of rubbish, they can just say no, They can decide for themselves.
But I mean, we're just help us out on your show and just keep pushing the narrative as far as if you see something, say something, don't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, every time that somebody fails to make a report, and they wait 2
We
days.
encouraged
That's
her
2
to call.
days behind
Yeah.
on a report or a lead that could be substantial.
Well, I mean,
Nobody
we
actually
did
knows
push
where
it.
these go and how important they are.
We asked her multiple times, like, will you please call in? Multiple times. No. First, she said she didn't have a phone or she wasn't allowed to. And then she mentioned something about her son. It was just, I think as the call
But if you
progressed, we could kind of
Right,
work
but if
out.
you notice, people are having excuses. Didn't have a phone. My family doesn't want involved. My son doesn't want me to report it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
She
kind of
still
odd.
could have seen
It's
his
very odd.
stepson. She might have seen him.
If a law enforcement person hears this, they're also going to be just doing the exact same thing. It's very odd.
Well, I'd like to
that
think
somebody
they
doesn't
would
want to
look at
report.
all information that comes in. I would like to think that if I sent them the link to this and gave them the time, that they would listen to it and take it seriously.
But would you provide the phone number?
Yeah, if they want it, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, the thing is that if you're going to send them the link, you would probably need to send them the phone number of the caller at the time, so that way they could reach out instead of having to do extra legs of work to find this person. If you've got the information,
I've got all the information because it's a recorded call, so we're going to go back through it and write everything down, pass on the telephone number. They can make that decision and then they can decide what they want to do with it. I mean, I think we've already decided that it's probably nothing, but she seems to think she's seen him, whether it's because she's seen him somewhere else, like on Facebook. I don't know, but let them decide. But I know what you mean. It is annoying when when loads of people are sending in tips that are a load of rubbish. Yeah, I understand that. I do. So,
I mean,
have you been?
True. I mean,
Have you been searching today? Then have you been busy?
I work nights, so I'm just now getting up, and this is what I got up to here.
Oh, you've been on nights.
Yeah, I'm actually having to go back to work. I actually go back to work.
Do they use cranes during the night?
Cranes run 24/7 on certain job sites.
Oh, over here they don't.
They may not run like that over in Europe. I'm not sure.
No,
I can't. I'm not going to speak for Europe.
No. Oh, okay then. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Chris. It's the first time I've spoken to you. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
So just appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Talk to you again soon.
Y'all have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
Woo! Emma, you are amazing.
Kirkwood, United States. +131447124.
Right, I'll take this
mute
call.
it,
This
mute
is
it,
the
mute
last
it,
one,
mute
and then we're going to have a chat. Hello, Crime Stories Obsessed.
Hi, I'm calling from Missouri, and I have been following the Sebastian story.
Oh, hi, yeah.
And I believe that the parents are innocent, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only person in the world. But if you look back at what Chris said on one of the shows, he said that DCPS made a referral in February. A couple weeks later, days later, the kid was gone. I think that the mom is being pulled between Seth and Chris and loves her kid, and Chris doesn't want him around because of his daughter, and Seth, he doesn't want to go to Seth because of the change of school. So I think that it kind of created a family drama and made it really dysfunctional. And I think that mom decided that the kid needed to go somewhere to get help with all the dysfunction in the family. And I think it's probably just a hoax that maybe Seth doesn't know where the kid is. But I think a lot of people know where he is.
I think the problem is, it's like, if that was the case, they'd be done for like, almost like would it be kidnapping? And
I don't know how they would do that. They're military, so anything could be possible.
For lying to police and the whole cost of the investigation and stuff.
Well, we're talking about if Child Protective Services made a referral, there could be a reason that nobody's knowing anything, because law enforcement, it seems like they're taking an awful long time giving any tips out about what's going on. And I think the pants last night were a plant, And that's just my theory of what I think. I think Chris has said when he comes home, I'm going to expect a lot of apologies, me and my wife.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a red flag. Well, why are we going to apologize to you, if we think that you hurt your child? So why would you say something like that? But that's just my theory, and I hope that I'm right. And I hope that, and I have a feeling that I think I know where he is.
Oh, where do you think he is?
State. I think the child is in Virginia. If you look back at what Chris said, he named a organization that was the referral, and they have one not far from where the photo was taken.
Okay. I wouldn't know. I have seen Virginia come up a few times with some of the relatives, but as to where he is,
I'm not sure who the lady is, if she's from this particular place or if she's a relative. But at this point, I think anything's possible. But
what makes you think he's in Virginia then? Because of this place that Chris mentioned, or have you seen him, or has anybody told you they've seen him?
Actually, I live in Missouri. I've just been following it. But there was a show on where the girl was having a really bad argument with Chris, and Seth Boyer was at the bottom of the page, and she was like talking, and Chris said, in February, we got a referral from DCPS, that's Division of Child Protectors. So, okay, why are they giving you a referral? A referral is we want you, this is not a good place for your kid to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she doesn't want to send him to Seth. So I think that that contributed to what happened now. Everybody needs to stay away from the kid and let him get the help that he needs.
Yeah,
and
if we can find him.
I don't know how he ended up with the kid, disappearing in the night. I don't know. I'm thinking that when they came to get him or whoever took him to this place, Chris was there, or Chris met up with them and was fighting with Sebastian that he didn't want to go, and that may be how he got bit up and scratched up. I mean, that's just my theory. I may be the only person in the world that doesn't think they did anything, but if you watch Katie's conversations, there's a few times where she's actually smiled and almost busted out laughing and covered her mouth.
Oh.
So that to me is weird, that she can't keep a straight face.
Well, thank you for calling in, and thank you for your theory on where he could be and what you think happened. So thank you very much for calling in, and have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Right, so I'm not taking any more calls because I have two guests on panel now, and I want to ask them what they think about everything that's just gone on, because it's the first time I have ever had a call-in show and I get Chris Proudfoot and this woman from wherever she was from. I need to go back and look. So my head's spinning right now. Girls, what do you make of all this?
Oh, my. Okay, so hi, everybody.
Hi, Brittany.
I literally just ran in the back door trying to make it. I haven't been able to hear anything, so you're going to have to catch me up. Like, it sounds like chaos. Oh, my God.
It's been chaos. As soon as I open the phone lines, it's been chaos. Mandy can tell it. Mandy, tell me. What do you think make of all this?
Woo! Hi, Brittany, first of all.
Hey, beautiful.
This has been crazy. So we had a lady call in and sorry. Stop it. I'm switching in between. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I'm switching in between my email and the screen because I'm trying to compose the email now for TBI. So we had a lady call in from Georgia, and she said that she thinks that she saw that same boy that's in the picture that's floating around right now with the same woman that's in the picture that's floating around right now in a store in Georgia. And she's 78 years old. she sounded 78, you know, possible things going on. She said that her family did not want her to get involved, and so they didn't want her to call law enforcement. We encouraged her highly to call law enforcement, and we told her that we were going to contact law enforcement, and she said it was okay to give law enforcement her number, so that will be included in the email, and the link to this live stream so that they can watch and listen to the phone call. And yeah, she said that he spoke to her. He asked her her name, and he said that his name was Seb, either Seb or Sam. And so she called in twice. She hung up once and called back. And then the second time when she hung up, then we got a phone call from Chris. And he, yeah, you'll have to go back and listen to that. He couldn't hear me, and I'm glad, because I was muted most of the time anyway. But yeah, that was eventful. I'm shaking. I'm sorry. I am literally like, my whole body is shaking right now.
Okay.
This is crazy.
This is the first time I have ever done a live call-in show, guys. Please give me a break. Really?
There is something so wrong right now with all of this, you guys. All
There
of
is,
it.
there is.
There's something so terribly wrong. So one of the reasons that I was late, obviously, is I had school pickup and things like that. But we've been deep diving big time into research, and I don't looking into Katie's side of the family, and I don't even know. I don't even know if there's something very nefarious, in my opinion, very nefarious happening right now. And it is I'm not going to say a whole lot, but it's of my opinion, it's pure speculation, but it's my opinion that what we are witnessing right now, Emma, is probably one of the highest forms of deflection. I feel like we're being told to look over that way while something else is happening. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, all of this is a big distraction. Like, there's somebody hard at work to prevent us from,
I agree with that.
I know what you mean. It's just, what? Oh, have you got any theories on what you think happened? Oh,
can I clarify something real quick? I'm sorry. I see in chat, because I said that she was 78. I was trying to be polite. I know my grandmother was 83 when she passed, and she just still drove and mowed her own yard. I am not saying that just because she was 78 that there were definitely any type of issues. That's why I'm trying to be polite. I don't know if there is, and I'm glad that Emma handled the call. She did an amazing job speaking to her, but I was not trying to insinuate because she's 78 that there were issues or anything like that. That wasn't what I was saying. She just said that she didn't want, that her family didn't want her to get involved, and that they had cut her off with YouTube or something. You know, she was saying some things that made us seem like maybe she shouldn't have been calling in. So that's what I wasn't trying to say because she was 78. Okay.
Yeah, it's difficult
I hope
because we're
I'm
on the live and we don't want to be rude, do we? You know, and if she's listening and things. So,
somebody sent me a message and they were saying, why don't you ring Dills and ask if they know her? If she stands there hugging the crackers and things, maybe they might. Don't know. Cher's here. Hi, Cher.
Emma, you did so good. Welcome. You did so good.
Hey, Emma, can you send me the lady's phone number on like Facebook Messenger or on email or something?
I'll bring it up.
Emma,
it was the one that was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The Georgia number.
I'm just looking for the. Yeah, I'm looking for the one that 10 minutes long. Oh, I'm gonna have to do it afterwards because I'm gonna have to look at them and go through it a second. I've got
Emma, can you hear me?
Numbers that I've been trying to call in. So, yes, I can. Hi.
Okay. No, I just wanted to pop up. You did good. It was nice to hear people not just like be rude to him right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like you were decent
Yeah.
with him, not just right away like aggressive and like quite clear you don't like him. Like other panels, you can tell when the host doesn't already like someone and they're just mean right off the bat. It was nice to see that not happen this time.
So he
Yeah.
did.
Well,
Okay,
when
that
I'm
was
on
the
the
question I
ambulance,
was
I have
going to
to
ask.
treat.
He
Yeah, I
did.
have to
He
treat
did
everybody
say
the
that
same
it
at
was
work.
like. Did he?
He
Did
said
he
what?
say
Sorry.
it was Chris Proudfoot? Like I
Ooh, it's
completely missed
echoing
everything.
bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, he didn't tell me at first. He didn't tell me at first.
Do I need to?
I
He didn't. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I cannot believe I missed that. Was he nice?
Oh yeah, yeah, perfectly nice. Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah,
good.
no
Okay.
problem. Mhm.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm sure you did great.
Oh,
Emma did
thank you, and
fantastic.
thank you, Cher, for listening. I don't know if I'll be doing another call-in show for a while. I think I need a bit of a rest.
I love that Justin said welcome to the call-ins.
Right?
You never
Oh,
know what you're
gosh,
going
I
to
know
get.
I
It's like a
saw
box
that.
of chocolates.
And that's it. You don't want to be rude to people because you don't really know what's going on at first. You just, you know, you don't know who they are. And that lady, we don't really know the situation, do we? So we just have to take it seriously, write it all down, send it in. It's like I said to Chris, you know, he said, don't bombard them with information. It's up to the police, isn't it? We're not the police. Let them deal with all that. Whether they decide it's something they want to look at, great. And if they don't, that's up to them, you know.
Right.
Can I
Stop
just say
purring into
something
the microphone. Yes.
that may I don't even I'm going to be very respectful when I say this. But I
Of
just
course.
I can't help. Look, I appreciate Chris's willingness to speak out, but I'm just curious why Katie. Like, if you were the last one to see Sebastian, no one knows that situation more than you do. Nobody
Yeah.
can recant, you know, like. And then we see Chris out here. He's calling everybody. He's going on all these panels. Where are you at, Katie? That's your kid. Like I don't know anybody else that would idly just sit around. And then not only that, like if you're willing to take this time, hold on, Christian, if you're willing to take this time and you know, come and speak on podcasts and YouTube channels, why can't you utilize that time to search for Sebastian?
Well, I asked him
You know,
if he'd
like
been searching today, but he said he'd been in bed because he'd been on nights. Are you still there?
yeah,
Guys?
yeah.
Are you still?
I'm here.
Yeah, I just said, have you been searching today? And he said, no, I've been on nights. So yeah.
Right. No, yeah, and like I said, to be honest with you, I'm really to the point where I don't even I think it's just up in the air, you know? Like I'm not even really looking harshly at anybody at this point. Everything's just
Right, just
I'm
a
so thrown
second, Brittany. Mike, I don't know who you are, but if you can't be respectful, get out. See you later. Bye. Okay, Brittany, yeah, carry on. Sorry.
Oh, you're
Somebody being a bit
good. You're
nasty
fine.
about you, Brittany.
Yeah, and if you get anybody,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance because there's just this case is bringing out a lot of crazy. I'll just say that.
I just
But,
won't have it. You
no,
know, everybody's welcome to an opinion on this channel, but if you're going to be rude and nasty to anybody or my guests, no. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I appreciate you all coming on. Thank you.
I want to say again, for people in chat that are saying anything, I am composing the email to TBI as we speak right now. I am typing it out. I am including the link to this live stream. As soon as we end, then I'll be able to get the exact time stamp, and I'm going to include that. And I'm also going to get the phone number that the lady was calling from Emma as soon as we end, and I will put it in the email, and then I will hit send. So as soon as we end, the email will be sent. So please do not contact any law enforcement with any of this information. I'm going to send it all in email. I'll read it to Emma so she can make sure I didn't miss anything, and then they can go listen to the call themselves.
Yeah,
but
and
I
then
am
they
doing
can decide, can't they?
right.
But yeah, that's a good point to make, because as Chris was saying, they do get loads of people sending. They probably got so many hundreds of people sending that photograph. Even though that woman had said that she'd sent it in herself, you can guarantee that there were hundreds of people all sending that one photograph to TBI. And it doesn't take all those people. So as long as we know we're doing it, after this call, all the information, the phone number, I feel a bit riled up now, like I could just
time for a nap, right?
Oh my God. I think yeah.
The anxiety got so high, now it's time to calm down.
I'm like ready to go,
Right.
Oh God.
High alert. Woo. I
God,
promise
right.
I hope you did so well with both of those phone calls, all three of them, but mainly the first two. You did such a good job.
There were three.
Thank you.
Well, there was
I'm
a
not
third
even
lady
lying,
that called in.
I'm literally
Yeah.
gonna, like, when you end this out, I'm gonna have to go back, and I've missed everything, and I feel so bad.
Aw.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
okay. Don't worry. You can always watch it, afterwards. But thank you so much for coming on, Mandy. That was really good, and it was useful. It was a bit difficult at times trying to listen to both people at once, but I was trying my hardest to listen to what you were saying so that I could ask her the questions. So I appreciate that, because there's certain things when somebody's there and it's like the pressure of trying to ask the right questions,
Right.
and you miss things. And then afterwards you think, oh, I should have asked that. So you were like there to help me. So that was good. So thank you for that. Oh, Brittany's gone. See you later, Brittany. So
well,
yeah, I
welcome.
will end this live.
I was trying to sneak in there, and when they were talking, I was trying to wait for them to stop talking, and try to get on a breath so that you would be able to hear me.
Oh, don't worry. Well, I'm going to bed because I've got to be up at work at 6 a.m. Oh, there's a call coming in from the USA. I don't know who it is. What do you reckon? Right.
Does it say Nashville?
Let's see. No.
I wouldn't
Hello,
answer it.
Crime Stories Obsessed.
Hi, Emma. Is this Emma?
Yes, speaking.
Hi, Emma. My name is Heather, and I'm from North Carolina. And I just wanted to say that listening to Chris previously, I would imagine it'd be difficult for anyone to call in a credible tip to law enforcement at the risk of being persecuted by that man. So I can understand why people aren't calling law enforcement right away.
Possibility.
And that's all.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that. I mean, that would be very intimidating, especially for someone like myself.
Yeah. And you've heard, you're in North Carolina, and have you seen all about Sebastian over there?
Yes. I wake up thinking about this child. I go to bed thinking about this child, and I just want him to be found. So this is a case that I'm having a hard time just walking away from.
Well, you're in a great position, because unlike us, you walk around that area where you live, and you're more likely to spot that child than any of us on here.
Right. But I would be less likely, unfortunately, to call law enforcement, because there's a potential to be attacked by Chris, whether it be on air, online, or even in person. I don't know, what access he has to people's personal information.
I think you have to wrestle with yourself and say, what's more important? Having Chris
or for Sebastian.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
just felt like I could understand why that elderly lady's family did not want her to get involved.
Oh, yeah.
But I hope Chris would understand that he should tone it down when people are calling these things in, because at least it got somewhere.
Yeah, we just have to take it seriously. Like I said to Chris, we don't know if it's anything or nothing. It's probably nothing. But this woman seemed adamant she'd seen him, whether she'd just seen him from Facebook. She said she'd seen him in the store. So we're going to pass it across, let them take a look at it. They can listen to this call. If they think it's nothing, then that's on them, you know.
Right.
So
yes. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to speak my piece. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, welcome. Thank you for coming on. Take care.
Ma'am. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Right, no more calls now, guys. We're going to end the stream. I need my sleep and I need a glass of wine.
What time is it for you?
It is 10:45 here. By the time I've washed my face, brushed my teeth, and got into bed, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It will be late. I've got to be at work at 6.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, thank you for having me on panel. Actually, I want you to end the live stream and let's still communicate on StreamYard after, so you can give me her number.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Right then, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We've had a good night. We've had some people call in from all over, giving us their theories, and apparently seeing Seb or Sebastian. If you haven't watched it from the beginning, go back and rewind. Thank you to the mods and everybody for helping out in the chat. And we'll be back with you again soon. See you later, guys. Bye. Bye.
Are we still here?